Hello and welcome to a special series of Blocktalk, which we're calling Blocktalk Explores. These quick listen episodes will be split by topic area, as our guests, who are all industry leaders in Scotland, will be discussing three specific industry topics. Topic number one is education and awareness of the industry and what property factors do. Number two is recruitment within the industry and any challenges that they see. And the third one is customer care. We'll release 2 episodes in week 1, and the third will be released the following week. We hope you enjoy the series, and as always, it would be great to hear your feedback. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Blocktalk podcast. We're doing Blocktalk Explores with me, Brian Welsh. In this episode, we're talking to Callum Bruce about customer care. Callum is an industry leader in Scotland and he was appointed director at McPhee & Co. in 2022, having joined the firm in May 2018. He previously worked as assistant property manager for approximately 2 years as well. Callum, thanks for coming on. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, yourself?
Yes, I'm very well. I'm very well. So moving on to customer service, how is customer service changing? Might be some stuff that we just discussed on recruitment as well. How's customer service changing?
Yeah, exactly that. Digitizing, really. Being able to be available as much as we can. It has its positives and its negatives, of course. We're obviously available to discuss with owners at any point, really. But it comes with the expectation that you're then going to act on it as quickly as you were able to answer the phone or answer an email. I know you've talked about that before as well, that you get an email in and all firms will have response times that they wish to keep to, obviously. But it's sometimes having the composure, I guess, to sit back and get the right information and then reply in a timely manner rather than rush back to somebody because it's there. Like I say, it's not a live chat. You can sometimes get that way, and Zoom's similar, where you can have a quick chat with somebody on Zoom or Teams, but it's been able to convey all the points to them correctly. I mean, we've obviously, as you know, we're doing things with yourself, but we're obviously trying to progress the way that we operate behind the scenes to benefit the owners, but with keeping the traditional, side of things for our older clients to make sure that they're still fully appraised and still have confidence in what we're doing, and that sending letters and sending mandates to people in hard copy versions, but one day it'll move on and it'll change completely, I'm sure, with portals and the emails. But yeah, we're trying to keep up to date with that. Obviously, we're going to have to do a bit of education and new things that we're bringing to the firm in the next month or so with our staff, but I think everybody will take it pretty well, and I'm sure they'll enjoy it because it's going to have benefits to them as well. So, but yeah, it's building relationships still. We're going over the same thing again, isn't it? It's trying to build that relationship with the manager, but you want to keep it as personal as possible in a digital world, which is quite difficult sometimes.
Yeah, no, I get it. So do you have a biggest challenge? What do you view as the biggest challenge to give a good level of customer support? I think coming back to something you just said actually on the previous question, my expectation when I send an email is I get an answer.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, because we live in that society now, I think that's a big challenge. And it's a big challenge for me personally, because I'm waiting for an email for something I sent last night at 5:00. I haven't got it back yet. Now, who I'm waiting for an answer for does not provide any SLA or any auto reply to say, give us 48 hours for this.
Yeah.
So that's a challenge that I see. What do you see as the kind of biggest challenge?
Yeah, I mean, we're obviously dealing with third parties a lot of the time as well. So we've got to go to surveyors, go to contractors, await their feedback as well at times. They've got to go to site and find these things. So in order for us to be able to regurgitate that back to them, it can take time. And you're right. I mean, you pick up your phone and you've got WhatsApp there, and you're pinging messages, videos, pictures back and forward with friends and people instantly. And it's hard to then detach from that and take that into your workplace where, you're not just ping ponging messages back and forwards, and it can, there's a better way to do it. Biggest challenge is, it is maybe that expectation, where we're trying to provide a good service. And it could look like you're not coming back to them as quickly as you could. Obviously we've got our T's and C's, and we'll try we will be keeping to them as best we can. And then, barriers, things like we've talked about the Zoom, it's a great tool, but one that I'm not overly fond of, as I've said, but it's there, and we're moving with the times, and we're trying our best to do that. And it can only be good for your clients, really. If you're more available, able to pop out and have a look at something, but pass videos, on to contractors and whatnot as well. So they've got a head start, so everything should expedite, I suppose, as well. So, it's helping in a way, the modern world.
Yeah. Yeah. So just coming on to something that's linked to customer service. So, difficult conversations are something that happen, right? And some people are good at it, some people aren't so good at it, but they are kind of a daily occurrence in life, aren't they? Yeah. So how do you manage those, and how do you help employees cope?
As you say, they're inevitable. I do feel that during COVID, there was definitely a spike. I think people were just more interested in their properties. They were at home, they were living there, they were there every day. They weren't going out to work for the majority of the day and coming home and thinking, I've got better things to do than contact my factory about leaking gutter. I'm going to enjoy myself and go to bed. I think it's slowing down. I do feel that it is, in my opinion. It's returning a wee bit more to where it was before. You do get these conversations; they do come up, obviously. And as a firm, we're obviously looking to support our staff as best we can through, education, so they're best prepared with, the IRPM, obviously, and then the conferences. They're targeting managing emotions and things like that as well. So last year's conference, that was a big thing. The working from home can become difficult in this as well, where you could feel slightly isolated. You're on your own, and you've not got somebody else in the office who could, help you, or, you're having to look at a file that you don't have, necessarily, or you're out remote and on the move. So that could be obviously a hindrance, and, having that person there to help you, the water cooler time, where you are able just to, open up about how you are, and sometimes just talk nonsense, but be able to just do that for 5 minutes, or discuss a project. Did you have something like this last week? Well, can I help you? Can I do? Yeah. We're very, very targeted on the portfolio sizes as well. Us being able to keep everybody in a manageable state means that they don't have that Sunday dread. Sunday evening comes and you're thinking, I can't bear to go in the morning. This is going to be horrendous. If we're very, John and I've talked about that before recently, and it's just something we can't have. We can't have people having that dread of coming back to work, because of, if there's an incident or there's an issue, then we'll work together as a team, and that bond, having a relatively small firm with a close-knit bunch who have all served time together for quite a long time. You can see it when people are struggling, maybe, and they are almost like a family because they've known each other for so long. So yeah, it's trying to monitor people like that without being on their back, of course. At the same time, they're all capable of doing it, and it's basically just allowing them the ability to just do what they need to do and be managers and just take their portfolio and run with it, knowing that they don't have that stuffy, closed door policy where you can't go near the partner because the partner's busy and they don't want to talk to you. They want to be able to help, and it's just showing support to your staff that way, I feel. And yeah,
I do understand Yeah, it's never easy. Difficult conversations that they just have to happen, and I guess it's having a good culture within your business. Again, I've mentioned that before, but where people can talk. But the other thing is, I mean, you spend most of your waking life at work, so why would you want to go somewhere you didn't enjoy? So I think it's the duty of every business owner or leader to make sure that the work environment is an enjoyable place to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, that's great. Thank you for answering those questions, Callum. We have one more for you, which I hope you're expecting and you've had given some thought. Tell us something about you that people are generally surprised to find out about you.
I found this quite difficult, Brian. I'm pretty boring, it would seem. The only thing I could think of, and it's kind of niche, I guess, is I've actually got a degree in sport, but working property.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, and I play squash, which is quite niche. So that's the only kind of stranger one, I suppose. It's not that you don't play golf and things, but you play golf. Everybody plays golf. So, but yeah, play.
No, you play golf well, though. I don't play golf well. You play golf well. So,
but yeah, play squash relatively competitively in the west of Scotland. So some of my ex-colleagues will know that, because obviously I was carting about a squash racket sometimes. But it's something that you maybe wouldn't look at me and think, there's a shoe-in squash player. But it's
what was the conversion from sport? What was the degree? Sport management, or what was it?
Sports development, which is like business management, sport, marketing, that kind of idea. Okay,
my niece is just finishing in Dundee doing some sports-related degree. Actually, I think she's going to a master's. Actually, so why this? How did you get sport to property management?
It was an interest. Property in general was an interest, and it was a friend who worked in the industry and suggested that maybe it would be a good thing. There must be something in the water when it comes to sport. Certain type of people, maybe. I think 4 or 5 of the guys I went to uni with all work in property in some way, shape, or form. So it's strange, from estate agency to letting to factoring. So it's a strange one. I don't know if it's the sort of outgoing, maybe a wee bit more outgoing team player. It maybe fits into the mold a wee bit. I don't know. And squash was something that I picked up through my now wife, who it's in her blood. Her family have been playing squash for generations, obviously, and she was very, very talented. And when I met her, I saw it for the first time. So and got dragged in, kicking and screaming. So
that's interesting. I used to play. We had quite a sporty family, and my older brother was a very good tennis player, badminton player, and golfer. I don't really talk to him because he's just too good at these things. But when you get a bit older, I mean, I used to play badminton. I love badminton, but my knees are shot to hell. So from years of not being overly light on my feet, shall we say? So and golf is the only one I've got left, which I'm not very good at. I enjoy it. I think I'm off 18 now, actually. So I cut it down a bit. I medal a couple of weeks ago. So.
Very good.
Interesting. Squash it is then. Okay, I must remember that. Okay, Cal, that's been brilliant. Thanks very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me on. Thanks very much.
Thanks.